And of course, key area is we only take applications that we have 100% certain. How can I 100% certain? Because we analyze an initial reading before the thing became a regulation policy, right? That's what we did, okay? So thinking about it became policy actually takes 2 and 3 years. It takes 3 years here because they have to have a lobby group and we have to discuss and we have lots of work. The GTI, although it's published last year, it has been discussion for 3 years prior to that date. And then we analyze that piece of interpretation before it became act. Okay, this is a reason why I'm so good, I'm sorry, but this is how we work. Lots of our candidates, other individuals, they submit themselves, got rejected and approach us. It's really, I can't help you with that unless you haven't received a rejection. If you submit something and never heard anything back from global talent team, I can help you with, I can request global team to release your information to me and provide further submission. But if you be already rejected, I can't help you with that, okay? I'm not saying you have to find me, really. You can find any other agents very skilled in this industry. It's absolutely fine. It's fine. We know, although I'm saying I'm really good, I'm sure that someone outside there is really good as well. But make sure they do understand that, right? You find someone who you can trust. But I do not encourage you to submit yourself. I do not encourage you to submit yourself. Ultimately, this is a visa, right? This is permanent visa. It's not that easy. You're good in your industry. Someone's good in their industry. You have to know the difference. The reason you're good in this industry is because you spend too much time, a long time on it. And someone good in their industry because they spend a lot of time on that, right? It doesn't make sense. The second one, I want to talk about the tech part. Okay, so we are good on tech part. Why? The purpose of GTR, why they came with this thing, what is the key? First of all, the key of the GTR, it's present and future. All right, why we have technology in the first place? Why? Because we see the problem currently we have, or foresee the future, and we want to solve the problem for present and future problem. That is everything about innovation. Why we want to invent or innovate, it's because we see the points, we see the problem, and we don't see that as it is. We see things will be changed, and that is the whole purpose of GTI. GTI work for someone, can approve someone's visa very easily if they understand this. It is nothing to do with the work experience, okay? It doesn't matter if for 30 years, if you're outdated, you're outdated. It really related not to present, but to the future. If your area of this will help in the future, in your industry, make sure the mining industry, have less faulty elements, make sure you can detect before the accident happens. If you can do this, even it's in the progress, it is what we want, okay? That is the main purpose of GTI. Make sure you understand that. So sending an email to me by sending the LinkedIn page to me, I have to say you don't do that. I won't check anything like that. It will be a reference. But if you send an email to me, you can't be bothered to send even your CV. You don't have an attitude. Australia, it's top country, right? Please do respect our system, okay? If you believe you're awesome, congratulations. You don't need to come here. We only help people who genuinely want to make Australia as a permanent home. That's what we do. I don't want to make someone getting for the purpose of just getting PR in the pocket. We want you ultimately become resident, local resident. Okay, so that's a talk about present and future. Okay, so present, it's about having problem. You have a problem and you want to solve it, and you're in the process of solving it. And this solving will make sure that we become better future. This type of work can be in, for example, Facebook. I'm sure they're going to do something Messenger. How are going to people interact with the Messenger? Whether the Messenger interaction will just verbally, or it can be VR experience, a virtual reality experience, right? It's going to solve the problem in the future. Third part, I really want to talk about when I said that my expertise is to actually applying written and verbal language to influence the decision maker. And I mentioned something called language. Okay, I got to realize for the same language, pure English, right? My first language is actually not English. That someone who's a native speaker could not understand. They are not cognitively impaired, right? They're intelligent, but they don't understand. Right? Some people from Canada, US, they confuse themselves and even ask me questions. The language it's so powerful. If you can see in a language of powerful way, in a way of a copy, right? A advertisement. You could have someone click the advertisement if the copy is so awesome 1,000 times, or you have no one click. This is they call the conversion rate. Something convert, right? It take people's action. The other powerful language in legal form, not immigration, but a criminal court case, evolved with the submission of code and verbal language as well. And it's powerful with a different outcome. Because I actually was minored in criminal law, and I attend one of the court cases. Someone who represent themselves, which I really feel is so disadvantage for them, because you should have a lawyer representing for the criminal case, who actually got something wrong with the policeman. And he was in question in the court. Basically, question is Englishman, right? Is Englishman questioning the real case, right? He was there, and that was a prosecutor, that was a policeman, and cross-examination and asked him question. He could not. He confused the judge, confused us, and the result was he was locked up for 6 months, just for a simple matter, just simple that. And then that time I realized, if you want to study law, that's what my supervisor told me. Don't do law if you want just. There's no justice, right? It's about the powerful language. He's an Englishman. What he could not describe, make the judge to make decision in his favor, and describe a event happened to him so dramatic. He was locked up by that. I would say if he have a lawyer representing for him, he will have surely he will walk out for free man. The power of language, and when I say a copy, you make sure people click on your ad. Power in criminal case, power language in immigration law, right? How you write your language, how you write a language to make sure that you can marry two parts. One is the legislation and yourself. Basically, in our written language, we are saying, hey, this candidate, this is the information. We are very selective. And we say, this information meeting this requirement. You don't need to you don't need to declare, you declare travel history, health history, but you don't need to mention your whole life. Right? You don't mention your internship. You don't need to mention everyday jobs. You don't need to mention what you do 8 hours a day. You don't mention that. You select something that is critical to make this happening. You only do that. So do you know why we are good at this? So if you see myself as a person, I'm talking in front of you, we actually have an army working on the file. We are not just one person. Of course we are not. We have someone who's really good at this, right? Lawyer, solicitor. We have someone who's really good tech, right? They are recruiters. We are someone who's really good in the legal formatting as well. So when we get results, it's a professional job. You have to respect that. It's a professional job to get results. It is not just, hey, it's easy, let me just do something. Please, sometimes when I have respect for the immigrations, really, because I never submit something that it's wasting people's time. Pages stuff that it's not relevant. I don't do that because I respect their time as well. You don't throw in something that I don't even know whether it converts or not. And you don't even know the real requirement of this. You don't even know who actually makes decisions, right? So I'm not saying you have to find us. I actually don't help candidates because we only help someone who's really know our value. And if you really not enough candidates, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But you need to seek assistance, professional assistance. Don't just randomly throw something to the contact form. Don't do that. All right, it's a permanent visa. It's not tourist visa. You come here for 3 months and you have to leave. It's a permanent visa that you can bring your whole family in here, your own self, your wife, your children, and later on you can sponsor your parents. They can have here permanently as well. You can access free education. Your children access to free education. You can access to free Medicare. This is permanent visa, right? If you're not, seriously laugh, please don't waste department's time. They are so busy. We only have 10 people working in the department, and so receive thousands. So they have to, what they do is, when you not hear anything from department for 3 weeks, something wrong with the application. Let me tell you really clearly, okay? If you haven't heard anything with the department for a few weeks, it must be something wrong. We do have a candidate, sometimes it's not easy to explain that. Take a little bit longer, but we know they are watching our files, right? We know that, okay? So if you've been submitting something, no one respond to you, or being rejected, or if you reject, please don't come to us. But never hear anything, is something wrong with that, okay? Something wrong with. You often hear somebody say, someone got visa, this, okay, your situation is really different to others. Make sure you analyze that.